Hey crew, what's up?
This is the Train Together podcast. I'm Lana Parks.
And I'm Jack Faulkner.
We're best mates, parents, and experienced personal trainers based in Byron Bay, Australia.
We're your training buddies that will never let you down.
The Train Together podcast is here to help you feel good, move well, and do more of the stuff you love with simple and sustainable training that complements your lifestyle instead of taking over it.
No matter where you're at with your training journey, we will give you everything you need to be confident with your training and get strong for life.
With us in your ears, you'll know what to do, when to do it, and how to lift properly.
We're here to give you high quality guidance and do all the hard work so you can just show up, put your headphones in, and train hard.
But don't worry, there'll also be plenty of banter, shits, and giggles along the way.
The Train Together podcast.
It's a workout in your ears. We would like to start by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we are recording today, the Arakwal people of the Bundjalung Nation. We would also like to pay our respects to elders past and present. The easiest way to track your session is via our Train Together app, where you get access to 3 full body weight sessions a week, in-depth video tutorials, track your workouts so you know what to lift each week, and can be a part of the Train Together community where you'll join amazing like-minded people that will help you to stay accountable and motivated. The link is in the description. If you want to pause to sign up, please do so. It'll only take a couple of minutes. And if at any point today you would also like to have a look at the in-depth video tutorials of the exercises in this session, they are in the show notes. So if you need a bit of extra guidance, check them out. Hey crew, what is up? Welcome to program 1 of 2025. We're so keen to train together this year, get some solid gains and work hard.
This is our 28th program.
28, that's wild.
We've done a fair few now, hey. But we are stoked to have you with us for the 28th version of Continuum Training, which is now Train Together. So you are now part of our crew. You're in your continuum, you're in the cycle, and let's get this year done. So big start to the year. We're gonna ease you into it and build. So hopefully this time next year, you are flying, feeling like a different person. You've got a new crew, you've done plenty of workouts, you're feeling strong, moving better, doing more of what you love, and then we'll be very happy if that is the case.
That's what it's all about. So some solid full body weights training sessions, 3 times a week. That's all we need to commit to, guys, for those gains. So let's get amongst it. Let's go.
Alrighty, so for the session today, crew, day 1 of the program, we have got a full body workout, surprise to no one. We've got our prone row to kick us off, which is gonna work your back and biceps mainly on the bench, chest over the top, big pull hard. We've got 3 sets of 8 to 10 reps, no warm-ups today. And like I said, or I actually skipped that, is that the goal for today is to find our 5 reps in reserve and set ourselves up to work properly next week for a full session. So this is just building up over 3 sets every time. The second movement is gonna be a vertical press. So our shoulders are gonna work with our triceps. We're just pressing overhead for our dumbbell standing shoulder press, 3 sets of 9 to 12 reps. And moving on to our lateral lunge. So this guy is a lower body movement that takes a little bit of coordination and a little bit of explanation on our part. So give us time and feel free to check any videos.
And give yourselves time too.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. And with that one, you might not work to your 5 reps in reserve. You might just be working on the form today, and that's totally fine as well. That one is going to work our adductors, glutes, quads, brain, lower body, like all of it, you know. And then from there, we're going to go into a superset. We're going to work our chest with our chest fly, so a big stretch position into the rotational core movement, working those obliques a lot, and then maxing out on double chest push-ups to finish off. So that spice should be real after the flies. That's us done.
That's it, guys. So big session ahead, but just remember, being week 1, we're just learning things here, trying to find those 5 reps in reserve. So if you're still on a piece of cardio equipment, or if you're just listening, let's make our way to get warm now with some mobility and activation. You're going to need a band and a optional mat. If you just want to use the floor, that is fine, but we'll see you there soon. Let's go. Let's go. See you soon. Let's go.
Before we dive into our session, we're going to get nice and warm, okay? So we're just going to run through a couple of mobility movements that will help for the day, and then we'll go into a couple of movements that get us prepped so we can work well and work properly through our exercises today. So we're going to kick ourselves off with an archer. So if I move around a little bit with my mic, I am sorry, but basically the archer is really good for opening up through the thoracic spine, okay? So through that upper back, and it's the rotation part. You hear my knees click on the way down. I feel like an old man some days. So lying down on the floor on our side with our knees tucked up in line with our hips here. You can do this with our both hands long out in front or with our arms bent and fingertips tucked behind our head here. So you're going to open up, draw a bow and arrow, turn and look the other way, up and over. Breathe out and then breathe in, come back. Repeat that, but as you do it, you're going to keep your knees touching and your bottom knee touching the floor. If you can turn all the way over with comfort, you can straighten out the bottom leg and just pop the top knee on the floor and keep that one pinned down. Same movement, breathing out and turning. On the next one, you're going to hold when you come all the way over and breathe out. Breathe in this position. And breathe out, relax into that stretch again. Nice, and then roll over to the other side, and we're gonna repeat. So all we do is either roll over or swivel, tuck the knees up, or just straighten out the bottom leg and put the top knee on the floor. And whether you had your arms bent with fingertips behind the head or both hands out in front, whatever one you were doing, you go back to that. Draw your bow and arrow, or open up with that body. Breathe out, turn the head, look behind, and then breathe back in, come back. Repeat that movement, keeping your top knee on the bottom knee and both knees touch, and then the bottom knee touching the floor, or just that one knee down the whole time. Breathe out as you extend and turn through that thoracic spine, the upper back. On this last one, we're going to do a double exhale. So open up, breathe out. Breathe in and hold that position. Exhale, sink into it again. And slowly bring yourself back to center. From here, we're going to do our adductor hip rock. So bring yourself up onto all fours. We're going to take our foot out to the side and stay on the other knee. So we have 4 points of contact, but one leg is way out to the side. And all we do is stick our butt out and then rock our our bum back towards our heel, and then back up to our 4-point position at the top with the foot out to the side. Rock back and just go through that, and you should feel a stretch here through the inside of the stretched leg, the one that is out to the side. So moving back into it, stick that butt right out. 2 more, and this will loosen us off a little bit for our lateral lunge that we have and our third exercise of the day today. Swapping sides for me, so back to all fours, other leg goes out to the side, and then rocking back and forth, sticking your bum out, keeping that back nice and flat. Find that stretch through the inside of the leg that is out, so the adductors and that groin there. And keep on rocking. Hopefully you're increasing the range slightly before we go into our bird dog. So back to all fours, hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Tilt that pelvis back and forth a little bit and find a position where you are halfway between the furthest arch you can do and the most rounded you can make the back. Small arch in that back, and you're going to breathe into your tummy. And then you're going to imagine you're wrapping a corset around that midline and bracing super tight. You hold that position with the back, and then you extend opposite limbs, pushing that heel back, lifting the arm in front, come back down, and then swap sides. Staying tight to that core, no arch, no twists through the body at all, and just keep on alternating. Breathe in as you come down, brace tight, exhale, get super tight on the way up. Make sure that we don't lift that foot too high behind us, okay? So keep going with those. No arching or changing through the back. Coming back down. 1 more. And then staying in this position here, we're going to go into our eccentric push-up. So this is the lowering part of our push-up. If you are not very good at push-ups or they are not your strongest point, then feel free to do this on your knees and then come up with these however you would like to. So whether you're on your knees or in full, we want a nice straight body. Hands are just outside shoulder width. We come down nice and slowly, pushing our nose out to make a triangle with our hands, elbows at 45 degrees. Slow, slow, slow. And then coming back however you need. So rolling up or rocking back to your knees, and then repeat. Slow, controlled movement. Chest goes out towards the floor. Elbows at 45. Control. And then go back to your starting point however you need. We're going to do 2 more of these. Really fight that slowness on the way down. Elbows at 45. Chest goes out to tap. As soon as that chest touches, you can relax. Rock back, come back to your starting point. And 1 more for me. Make this the slowest one yet. Fight gravity the whole way down. Nose goes out in front. Nice work. Standing up for me and grabbing out a band. So you should have one, as we said, you needed that in the intro. So it's just one that gives a little bit of resistance. We're going to do a banded single arm row. So you're going to need to attach this to something that is about belly button height. This can be a rig, it could be a plate rack, it can be anything that you can loop it around or tie it to. And then we're just going to do a banded single arm row. So grab that band in one hand, step back far enough so that it's nice and tight. From here we are square to the rig, shoulders back and down, drive the elbow low and squeeze in tight to the side, and we get the back muscles working. Stretch back to the starting point where the arm is long, shoulder down, elbow low, tuck in and squeeze, feel that back turn on, and just cycle through those. We're going to do about 10 here. When you come back, you want that whole shoulder to move back. You don't want to just move the arm and the shoulder pop up and over, okay? So we want to make sure that we don't pop up. We get set back and down as we squeeze in tight. 2 more on this side. Then all we do is swap the hands, step to the side so the hand is lined up with that band. And we do the same. Tightness to start, shoulder down, elbow low, squeeze tight with the arm, and then extend back out. Feeling the muscles down underneath the armpit, down the side of the back, around the shoulder blade work. Repeat the reps here. Stretch forwards, shoulder down, elbow low, squeeze tight. Good, and again. 2 more. And the last thing we're going to do, there's 2 options here. If you have a booty band or a loop band, then you're going to use that one. That'll be my preference for this. If not, you're going to need a easy resistance band that is nice and thin, okay? So for the loop band, you just pop your wrists in it. You got a shoulder set back and down and elbows tight. If you're using a loop band, you do the same movement, shoulder blades back and down, elbows tight to our sides, and then you just pinch the band between your thumb and index finger, and you're going to pull it apart as you go. But with the loop band, all we need to do, keep that same position with the elbows tight, take the wrist nice and wide, and then control back in. Wrist nice and wide, control back in. We want to keep tension on that band the whole time. And we're trying to work the external rotators of the shoulder here, okay, to stabilize for our shoulder press and chest pressing movements. Warmed up for that prone row 2. And you should start to get it to burn after about 8. If not, then it's not hard enough. Next week, grab a harder one for me. 3 more. Tension the whole time, shoulders back and down, elbows stay pinned to the sides. All we're doing is rotating that upper arm in the socket. Don't let it come away from the body. And done there. And that is us ready to rock and roll for our first exercise of the day. For day 1 here today of week 1, you're going to need to have your bench set up on an incline, and you're going to need some dumbbells ready to roll, and maybe a box or bench in front of that for your prone row. Okay, crew? So get yourself ready to rock and roll. We will see you there to do our prone row very shortly. Let's get today done. You.
All right, crew, so first exercise, we are getting into our prone row. So we are going to need a bench and some dumbbells, or if you're at home, you can just do this as a bent over row, all right? And you can sub that out on your app at the top corner, all right? So for this exercise, we're going to be working our back and biceps. We have a little box here, so our dumbbells are set up in front. It's just an easier way to set up. If you want to hold on to them and then climb up and over, go for gold though. Find what works for you. So setting up, we're gonna walk forward and straddle that bench. Think like you're a cowgirl riding that horsey. Yeehaw!
I've never imagined that before, but I don't know.
That's what I think every time I get on top of it. I'm like, yeehaw! So we're going to jump on top here, guys. We're going to get our chest up and over the bar. So if you are a lay day, we want boobs over that bench, all right? Now, if it is uncomfortable on the sternum, feel free to grab a little pad or something. And with your feet positioning, you can have two options. You can either have flat feet with a bend in the knees, or if you want to extend the knees a bit more, you might find you push up onto those tippy toes. So play around with that setup, find what works for you, all right? So from here, we're gonna grab our dumbbells and then we are going to let them hang underneath our shoulders. So a nice dead hang, shoulders can drop forward. And we're doing our rowing motion here. So we're gonna brush our elbows back tight by our side and the hands are gonna travel back towards the hips. We're pulling the shoulder blades back, getting a big squeeze, then we just release and go back to that top position, end position, sorry. So let's work through some reps here. We're gonna brush those elbows tight, pull shoulders back and squeeze, and then reaching back forward. So really focus on sticking that chest through at that top point. So let's work through those reps here. Elbows are coming back, hands back towards shoulders, squeeze and release. So as you work through these, guys, really work for that squeeze, okay? Think about breathing in as you reach forward, breathe out as you pull back. Something I want you to be aware of is those shoulders not digging forward. So we're searching for 8 to 10 reps here, okay? Play around with those. Once you get to the 8 to 10, we're gonna rest. We're gonna have a little breather and we're gonna talk about how that felt.
Cool.
Nice.
Sweet crew. Hello, hello. New year, new program. Let's get it done. So with this one, where I'm gonna move my weights out the way for Lance. We got into that a little bit quick, but obviously with this, guys, it's all about finding our 5 reps in reserve. So the goal of these 3 sets that we're gonna do is to find 5 reps in reserve, and basically at the end of that we should be 5 reps from failing where we can't get the squeeze. With this one, it's unlikely that you're going to get a really big burn as such, but you'll probably just lose the range of motion. Your shoulders might start to pop and you'll just use your arms a lot more. So with it, try and find that point over the next couple of sets. So that's our first set done. You're going to go to your tracking sheet or your phone, whichever one you are using, and you're going to fill out exactly what you did. So if you're on the phone there, just make sure you're on the dumbbell prone row. If you're on your paper or in your notes, just make a note of the exercise name and then write in the weight that you lifted, the weight on the dumbbells, don't do the total or anything, and then write in the amount of reps that you did and then how many more you think you could do. And basically that will determine what we're going to do in our next set. We're just going to do 2 more sets here, and by the third one we should have 5 reps in reserve or less, so probably like 4 or 5. So make a call. How many did you write in that last column? How many reps in reserve did you have? How many more could you do? You're going to determine now what you're going to do after this weight. So if you did 10 reps and you had more than 5 in the tank, then you're going to make it harder for yourself by grabbing a heavier weight. If you don't have the option for a heavy weight, you can either pause at the top or go really slow on the way down and probably get some heavier dumbbells because it's the first week. And if you basically had the first one, you couldn't even do 8 and it was really, really hard, then you can swap down the weight and make it a little bit lighter. I'm going to go and change mine now, so I'm going to go up a little bit and start to get a bit of weight in there and feel to try and find my 5 reps in reserve or getting closer to it over the next couple of sets. So change your weight now, higher, lower, and we'll get into it in about 10 seconds time.
That's it, guys. So let's make our way back to our setup position, onto that bench, walking forward, chest is up and over. We'll grab onto those dumbbells, get stable through those feet here, and we're gonna work it. So we're brushing elbows back tight, set those shoulders back and down, big squeeze. Fight for that squeeze at the top there. You're resisting against gravity, dropping back down. As you come back down, reach those hands forward in front of those shoulders, okay? So they're underneath the shoulders there, and then they travel back as you brush those elbows tight and squeeze. Big row there, guys. Work through. You should almost be at your 8 to 10 reps here. Getting it done. Nice.
Cool. Felt good. Felt nice. My squeeze was a little bit average on some in the middle. I think I was just listening to Lana and I was like, okay, not thinking about what I was doing. But make sure you're getting a nice big squeeze over top of every single one when we're doing those. So we're going to go in and we're going to track that second set. Wherever you are tracking, fill in the weight on those dumbbells, how many you did, how many more you think you could do. And look, if you forgot to count, but you just worked to the point where you had like 4 or 5 in the tank, that's totally fine. And if you did have 4 or 5 in the tank, stay at the same and try and count on the next one. If you fill those 3 columns out and you have more than 5 left, you're going to go up and make it harder again. If not, you're going to stay there. And if it was too hard, feel free to go back down. Okay, it's all just sussing out where we're going to be for this program, and hopefully those weights will go up, the reps in reserve will decrease, we'll get stronger, and everything will be a little bit tighter, leaner, feeling better as you work through this program. Oh. Okay, yeah, we're going to go for one more set. Okay, so look, after this set, if you want to do another one, you can pause us and do it if you don't find your 5 reps in reserve, and you can always add that on wherever you're tracking. So I'm going to up my weight for my third and final set. I reckon I'm going to go over 22s. What are you going to go?
I'm just on the 10s.
On the 10s, nice. Cool. So for our third and final set here, guys, grab out your weights and get them ready to roll.
All right, we'll get back into it in about 10 to 15 seconds.
Question, where should I feel this?
Where should you feel it?
Yeah.
I mean, we're aiming on squeezing our back, okay? So you also might feel the forearms and the biceps come on a little bit, all right? There should be no lower back pain, so play around with your pelvis position there. If you need to tuck those hips slightly into the bench, a little bit of glute squeeze to support that lower back. But yeah, we want to feel that back squeezing. But like Jack said, it won't be a crazy burn, but fight for that squeeze.
That's it.
All right, let's do it. Last set, let's get it done, guys. So searching for those 5 reps in the tank. If you need to do 1 or 2 extra to kind of find that point, that is a-okay. Let's get it done. Chest is up and over that bench, grabbing onto our dumbbells. Hands are hanging underneath shoulders. Big brush back, elbows are tight. Squeeze those shoulder blades together at the top. Big reach forward. It's fine for those shoulders to drop low. Hands come back towards your hips. Breathe in, reach forward. Breathe out, pull and squeeze as you reach the top there. Getting those reps out, guys. Staying strong. You should almost be there. Once you are finished there, guys, pop in that final effort with Jack and we will move on.
Cool, so I just stopped at 8 to keep my 5 in the tank there. They felt good, I got a good squeeze. Probably it was only 4 left if I'm honest as well, but I wanted to get in that rep range of 8 to 10. So fill that last set out in your phone or on your tracking sheet or in your notes, wherever you're doing it. And then click mark all. And then before it goes through, you're going to basically click the name of the exercise you've got here. So your dumbbell prone row. If you don't have the app here, then you don't have to worry about that. But you're going to click add your own note. And you're going to write in what you're going to do for next week. So if that last set was perfect and you have 5 reps in reserve, that's going to be our working weight for next week, okay? If it wasn't quite right, again, feel free to do another set to find your 5. But if it was right, then you're just going to leave that in there. And we're going to do 1 warm-up set next week. So next week will be 1 warm-up set and then 3 working sets. So we just go backwards to choose a weight that's going to feel really good for us going in before that. So mine was the 22.5s. I'll probably warm up on the 15s next week. If you're on the 10s, you might warm up on the 7s, okay? You can choose, and then we'll just tell you next week that it'll be 8 reps of the warm-up, and then we'll go to the working one. So write those 2 weights in there, the warm-up and the working, and then click done, go back out of it, and swipe over to your next exercise, which is your dumbbell standing shoulder press. And for that, all you're going to need is a set of dumbbells. Pick a weight that you think is going to be pretty cruisy for you to start us off. Something that presses overhead with ease on the first couple of reps. And if you want to do a couple of testers just to see what that weight is like for you, do that. And then we'll start the exercise very shortly, okay? First exercise in the baggie.
Nice. Let's go.
Alrighty crew, second exercise of the day. We've got our dumbbell standing shoulder press. I love the lack of equipment that we have to use here. 2 dumbbells. And you have got a great exercise, a hard one too, which does get a bit spicy, and it will get spicy. So we're going to do 3 sets, okay? We've got rep range of 9 to 12 reps, okay? So minimum of 9, pushing towards 12 if you can. First set should be pretty cruisy. Second set, you should start to feel it a little bit. Third set, we're aiming for 5 reps in the tank, okay? So like I said just before, grab a weight you think is going to be cruisy for the first set. I'm going to get that straight up to our shoulders. So you're going to start standing tall. Okay, the heads of the dumbbells are pretty much going to be touching our shoulders with palms facing each other and elbows underneath those hands. Butt cheeks and abs are on. Okay, tuck under, squeeze tight, and have a nice solid base. Big breath in. You're going to press up and turn those palms to face forwards as you straighten your dumbbells overhead. Then bring them back down to the starting position. And just keep on going through those reps for me. We're gonna go for about 12. It will feel like quite a few here, but breathe in on the way down, rotate the hands as you press up. At the bottom, we're looking for our forearms to be vertical. We don't wanna drop too low and the shoulders to pop up and over. You wanna stay stacked the whole time. So up and down, keep that base nice and tight. Start to get a feeling for the movement. Probably 1 or 2 more. And then we can have a breather, okay? So first set of those done. You know what felt good, what didn't. We'll go into a few more cues on the next one, but just track that with lungs.
Nice, guys. So grab that phone out or tracking sheet, whatever you're using, pop in what weight you just used, how many reps we did, and then we're gonna start thinking about those reps in reserve, okay? I know it is hard the very first time you're trying to figure that out, but just kind of think, could you do more than 5 whilst maintaining good form? If you could, you're gonna go up in weight. If not, then you can stay on that. If it was too heavy, if you feel like you got to the 9, 10, 11, 12 and it was really challenging, maybe we need to drop down just to really focus on that form, all right? So pop that in, press done, and then we'll get back into our second set in about 30 seconds.
That's our number, isn't it? 30, 10. We just pick a random
Well,
number.
we don't have the timer on today,
we don't know. So make sure you got that second weight out on there. And if at any point, guys, you want to stop, look at the video that's on there at Spotify or YouTube and check out what we're doing, or you can click through to the show notes and see the in-depth video tutorials, and you can just watch that, and then you have all the cues. You can go back, scratch through it, and make sure you know what you're doing, okay?
How good's that? How
I
convenient.
know. Free in-depth video tutorials by 2 absolute legends. Alrighty, second set, enough shit chat. Dumbbells up, nice solid base, palms face each other, big breath in and brace, press up overhead and breathe out. Breathe in, come back down to your starting point, okay? Rotate those palms to face forwards at the top, bring that head through so we've got a nice straight line at the top from our hands all the way down to our feet. Breathe in on the way down, out on the way up. Bring the elbows in close to the body and let the shoulders come down at the bottom, but don't let them pop up and over. Bang. Flew through those.
I only did 9 then.
Oh, you did 9, you felt it, okay.
Yeah, that was starting to feel a little heavier, so
yeah, nice.
Wanted to leave some reps in the tank there.
Cool, so again, Lana's just used the rep range, so she did 9 out of the 9 to 12 reps, and she found her 5 reps in reserve pretty early on here, so she's just probably going to use the same weight in the next set.
Yes, correct.
But I will let her tell you about that.
Exactly, so I'm popping that in, guys. I, from here, am going to write how many reps I just did, which was 9. I did go up there in weight from my first set because I found my first set pretty chill, but that happens with shoulders sometimes. They can get spicy pretty soon. So I will stay on this weight because I didn't reach the top end of that range, all right? So I'll give this next set a crack as well. Should get that 9 out pretty sweet again, and then from next week, I can build on that.
Yeah, that's it. And yeah, so this last set, we're aimed to have 5 reps in reserve at the end. So but when it's calling 5 reps in reserve, sometimes it can be quite hard, especially if it's your first time doing it, to say, oh, I actually have 5 there. And in the 3rd week, we'll test it. We'll make sure you're working to the right amount of reps in reserve. We'll call your bluff. We'll make you do all of them. But for now, just have a best guess, okay? If in doubt, go lower. Go to like, go to the point where, oh, actually, actually that was 3. Okay, well, next time I'll just do 2 less.
Yeah.
Okay. And the reason for this, remember, is because we need to be 5 reps or less in the tank at the end of all of our working sets. We need to be within 5 reps of failure to get the gains that we want. So make sure that those sets are actually effective instead of just faffing around lifting weights for the sake of it.
That's it.
That's why we follow the
lift
program.
with purpose.
That's it. Oh, motivational. Okay, last set, whether you've changed those weights or not, let's do it. Count your reps out. Nice solid base. Big breath in and brace. Forearms stacked. Let's do it. Breathe in on the way down, out on the way up. Control your descent. Press up nice and hard. Palms face each other at the bottom, and then they face forwards at the top. Knuckles facing the roof the whole time. Good. Find that 5 reps in reserve or less. Work to the end, 9 to 12. And just like that, standing shoulder press in the bag. Lana's going to run you through that tracking, get your plan for next week. How many warm-up sets do you reckon we'll do next week?
1 to 2, depends on how you feel. Yeah, depends
I
on where
always
you're
do
at.
a couple.
Yeah. All right, so pop that in, guys. What weight we just lifted, how many reps we got out then, and then what did you have left in the tank? From there, click on that exercise name, guys. We're gonna add in our note of what we wanna warm up on with next week. So if you think you might wanna do 2 sets, you can write in 2 weights there, and then we'll go up to our working effort as well, okay? From there, we will click all done and dusted. We're going to move on to a lateral lunge from here, guys. So we're gonna get those legs some lovin'. You will need just a bit of space, okay? So make sure you have a bit of space in your gym. We're gonna be in a nice wide stance there, so plenty of space. You may use a dumbbell as well, so have those dumbbell racks handy. We will see you soon. We are doing our lateral lunges, first little leg exercise of the day. It's a spicy one, challenging one for some because it does require a bit of mobility, okay, and a bit of coordination. So we'll start slow. We'll give you a couple of regressions as well and options, variations to make it work best for you. So first things first, we want to go for a nice wide position. So we'll start with both feet on the floor initially, and then we'll progress to the option of stepping out for our lunge, okay? So a really nice wide stance here, guys. Wider than shoulders, almost awkwardly wide, where you start to feel like you get a little bit of a stretch in that inner thigh, yeah? So from here, we're gonna transfer our weight over to one side as we send our hips back and bend that knee of the leg that we're transferring that weight over to. And we're gonna drive up and out of that leg back to the center. We're gonna work all one side here. So we're gonna stay on this side initially, send those hips back, sinking nice and low, and then powering up and out. So this movement, guys, we're gonna work through this. It is more of a Cossack squat than a lateral lunge, but we're gonna work up to that, okay? So we're staying static with both feet on the floor. Now play around with those feet if you need to. Take them wider, take them closer. Want you to find a spot that works for you. So really send those hips back, bend that knee of the side that we are transferring through, driving back up to our centered position. Let's work through a couple more reps here. We're staying nice and stable through that supporting foot, big toe, little toe heel into the floor, maintaining a nice flat back and posture here, powering back up and out. Our opposite foot is staying on the floor as well, guys, and keeping that opposite leg nice and extended. Let's head on over to the other side now as well. We should have done a good 7 to 10 reps there. So send those hips back, nice big bend. Think of that knee screwing out away from the midline so it's not craving in. Sinking low, powering back up and out. Hips push back, big drive back to your starting position. Couple more reps here. Breathe in on the way down, breathe out, push up and out. You should start to feel that in those legs now, and we are pretty much done. So guys, that is your Cossack squat. We like to start with this to get warm before we go into the advanced movement, which is adding a step out, all right? So while you're kind of having a little breather here, I'll just chat through what the step out option is. And then when we go into our next set, you can give it a crack if you want. So for the step out option, you'll start with both feet together. Then we're gonna step out, wowie, to the side. Nice big step. So back to that position where you were just in. And as you step, you're gonna catch yourself, send those hips back and bend your knee, okay? So going into that bottom position, the opposite leg is extended and straight through the knee. That's a really important cue. We don't wanna bend. So you'll go for the big step and then drive and power back to the center every single time. So let's pop in our sheet or our app. What we just did then, we probably just did body weight for that Cossack squat. Pop in around about how many reps you did. If you want to stay on that position and keep doing the Cossack, that is fine. If you want to give the lateral lunge a go, let's give that a crack in this next step. If you're finding that you just work through and it's super easy and you want to load with a weight, you can load with a weight, okay? The weight will be in the side of the leg that isn't working, okay? So opposite side to the working leg, and as you step out, it'll drop down towards the foot of the knee that is bending. If you need to check out the video to have a little gaze of that, please do. Otherwise, what do you reckon? Get into it in about 30 seconds,
Get
back
into it.
on.
Do you want to have a breather? Are you nearly puffed from all the
Yeah, you
yarns?
can chat now and
There's
I can...
so much knowledge.
I know, well,
So
there's a lot going on in that lateral lunge.
Well, trying to explain it through your ears is a hard one with most movements, but this is like a pretty big one.
It
and
is.
like, if you have 2 seconds, just watch Lana do hers, and then you'll be like, fuck you, because she's really good at them, and I'm over here struggling. So when I do mine today, I'm going to stick with my Cossack, so I'm just going to go up and down, keeping my feet in the same position, but Lana will move, okay? So Lana's going to jump in and do her first set now, and you guys are going to do it with her. We're just going to do 8 on each leg, okay? So start by stepping out or going onto your weaker leg first in your wide position. So you want to step out, knee goes out, bum goes back. We're leaning over at the hip a little bit, but doing the work by compressing down. Go as low as you can without the heel coming up or the back rounding over, then explode back to your starting point. Keep working through those reps for me until you hit about 8, and then we will move over to that other side, okay? So a little breather in between, max 5 to 10 seconds, and then do your second side for me. So start either in your wide position or feet nice and close. We're going out, knee out, bum back, lean over as low as you can without the heel coming up or the back rounding, and then drive back to your starting point and repeat, okay? So do those reps. If you need to roll the inside foot a little bit, then you can to help you get a little bit lower. And just keep on going until you get your 8. Working out your bottom position, getting as low as possible, getting that deep stretch. And always feel free to adjust the feet. They're not set in concrete here. If you need to go in or out a little bit, just do it. No matter how early or late, you guys get it done. And I would imagine that that's your second set done, okay? So if you loaded it, then you're going to go in with lines now and track it. If you didn't load it, you still put a 0 in the first column there. And I'm just going to do my second set and get everything flowing a little bit more.
Nice, guys. Yeah, so let's get that written in body weight or 0 kgs in that app there, how many reps you did. And look, I know it is hard to find those reps in reserve, but we will work it out.
Inspirational. Thanks, Lance.
It's challenging, I find, that first time, especially in a new exercise like this. You're probably a lot more of a mind workout, thinking about the form, making sure you're hitting good positions, making sure you're getting enough range of motion, just learning the exercise in general.
And that's fine. Our form is our priority here. So if you've never done this before, fuck the reps in reserve off.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what I was trying to say in a roundabout way. Like, if you're not worrying about the reps in reserve, don't worry about the reps in reserve.
Just feel good.
Focus on that form.
And practice these body weight a couple times through the week.
That's it, yeah.
Bit of a mobility exercise as well, and they get your hips feeling good. Like after that first and second set, I already feel so much better in my hips. So
yeah,
take the time to get in this position a few times, and hopefully you feel more limber through the program.
That's it.
Alright, into your guys' third and final set. Obviously, I just gave you 8 to do on the last one. If you want to do between 7 and 10 in this one, starting by working your weaker leg, so either stepping out onto it or moving down to that side and back. And then from there, match it on the strong side. Remember, if you have a dumbbell in your hand, you're going to have it in the side that is on the straight leg side. Okay, so opposite to the working side, you're going to reach down towards the ankle of the foot that's moving, or you're condensing down towards, okay? So into this set for me, start now, out and in, keep yourself moving, bum back, knee out, flat back, and powerful press back to your starting point. So with intent, you're gonna come back, a little bit of power, and just go through your reps. 7 to 10, if you're doing the reps in reserve, aim for about 5. If you're sacking them off, just get it feeling good. Do about 10 reps where you're getting a good range of motion, loosening off in the hips. After the first side, swap to the second side. Match what you did on the first. Go through those reps in your time. Your range, don't worry who's doing what. Work to your best form, your best range of motion. Go until you've matched sides. And when you've done both to the same amount, have a little note once you fill these out. What felt good? What didn't feel good? What you did? Did I take my feet wider? Did I take them closer? Did I keep my feet static? Did I move them? Okay, so when you're filling out with Lana your plan for next week, which will be pretty mellow again, then make those little notes in there after as well.
Yeah, that's it, guys. So we'll pop in if you used a weight, reps you did, anything in the tank. From there, click on the exercise name, and that's where we'll plan next week, yeah? So let's pop in what you want to do. Maybe you're just going to start on body weight again. If you want to try a weight, if you just did 3 sets then body weight and you went, okay, that's okay. You might want to go up in weight next week and try a little 2 or 3 kilo dumbbell. You may also just want to pop in, start body weight again, and any little comments, like Jack said, that kind of resonated or worked for you. Feet nice and wide, keep feet static, along those lines, all right? So let's get that in. From there, we're gonna press done. We're exiting out of that exercise. Mark all your sets, and then we'll move on to our superset, which is chest and core.
Yum. So for the chest and core, you're gonna need a bench. If you're at home, you can do it on the floor or just elevate your shoulders on a seat or something, or on the couch.
Yeah, you'll figure it out.
Yeah, find somewhere you can lie that's comfortable. And for the Russian twist, you just need a space next to that. You can always do it on the bench if there's not enough room. Your gym is super busy too. So those are the options. So grab yourself a flat bench or somewhere to lie. Some dumbbells that are pretty light. If you've done a chest fly before, grab something that's going to feel nice and cruisy just to get stretched and warmed up. And then if you haven't done it before, start super light, like 3s or 2s.
Get that form.
Yeah, and for the Russian twist, are we going to do body weight to start?
Yeah, I reckon body weight, get that movement going with that rotation, and then if it feels good and we want to throw a weight in, we'll throw a weight in.
Cool. Nice.
See you soon.
Dumbbell chest fly into a Russian twist. So we're going to work the stretch part of our chest, so in that long position, and then we're going to work our core of those obliques by rotating. If you have your hair tied up and it is high, it's going to really annoy you on the bench. So either move it down, move it up, take it out, whatever works best to start. If you don't and you have short hair, then lucky you, okay? So we're going to start with those light dumbbells that we spoke about. If you don't know what dumbbells to grab, if you're feeling strong, start with the 5s or 6s. If you're feeling weak, start with the 1s or 2s. You know, like somewhere in between there, and you will know straight away if they are heavy enough or not right, okay? So with this first one today, so with the chest fly and the Russian twist, we're going to talk through a few reps. You can lie down and practice or just watch and listen. That's totally up to you. And then we will go and we're just going to do 2 sets today, and they should be kind of challenging for both of those, okay? So just listen or do these reps and think about it and mimic it as you go through these. So we've got our chest fly to kick us off. You're going to start seated at the front of the bench, and you're going to lie down, and you're going to be flat to start. Slide your feet back so the heels are just off the floor, and that's going to tilt our pelvis forwards a little bit. Arch the back. Pull those shoulder blades back and down towards our bum, so you've got a bit of an arch. Push those heels down close to the floor. And then from here, your dumbbells should be up above your shoulder with your palms facing each other. We're going to start the movement by going out to the sides with the hands, keeping the arms straight to make a V shape with our arms. From the V shape, you're going to keep the weights going up, but start to bend at the elbows to make a nice big W shape at the bottom. So from the weight, we go zigzag up and down across that chest to get a nice big angle and stretch in the chest, and the shoulders shouldn't pop up, and then come back to the top position. So from the top, V shape, bending into our W shape, feeling a stretch across the pecs, and then come back and round to the top position. At the bottom, the shoulders should stay back and down. We should have a big breath in. Our chest should be really, really big and should feel tight across the chest. Do a couple more. Just one more from here. And then we'll talk more when we do our first set, but that's just a little get to know the exercise, okay? Now we're going to go into our Russian twist. So all we're going to do is start seated on the floor or on the bench. We don't mind. We're going to have our feet together, knees together, and we're going to have them almost extended fully out in front of us. So just a bit of leverage or a bit of a counterweight. And then you're going to sit back or lean back as far as you can without tipping over. From here, you're going to twist your shoulders to one side, turn the torso, and then twist back to the other side. Keeping your knees nice and close together. Try not to pedal the legs, just rotating side to side. Let's just do a full set of these here. We're all down here and going. Let's keep it going. We'll do 3 of these. So turn the shoulders, twisting through the torso. If you're counting, keep on counting. You're going to try for 20 minimum, pushing towards 30 if you can. If not, you can stop in about 10 seconds time. Slow, controlled movement, lack of pedaling, leaning right back, twisting through the torso, and hopefully no back pain, but a little bit of a burn through the front, and rest there for me. Cool?
Nice. So
that's our 2 movements, all right? We're going to do 2 more sets of those today. Chest fly into our Russian twist. We'll do one, then the other, then you'll track, and then we'll just jump straight back into it.
Good
Sound
stuff.
all right?
Sounds good. Keen.
Cool. So you'll be able to make a call off of those couple dummy reps, whether the weight was right or not for you. So change it if needed. And we're going to start right now as we go into it. If you're changing the weight, pause us for a second. But if not, let's get it done. So grab those dumbbells out, sit at the front of your bench. We're going to go through 8 to 10 chest flies with 5 or less in the tank at the end. So start with the feet, slide those back, arch the back, shoulder blades back and down. Okay, hands are going to be out in front of us with our palms facing each other. And then we go out into our V shape, into our W shape by bending the arms and keep the hands going out. Then exhale, come back to the top, keeping the chest nice and big. Next rep, just keep on working through these for me. V shape, W shape, big breath in, chest out, keeping the shoulders down towards the bum, finding a deep stretch at the bottom. Once you've got a really big stretch in the chest, don't go any lower, okay? Trying to keep the elbows up in line with the shoulders if you can. Exaggerate the chest position, don't go flat. Keep an arch in the back and the feet down towards the floor. And when you've got your 10, which is probably around now, and if you weren't counting, I counted for you. And then we're going to jump straight down into our Russian twist. If that first set felt super easy, then you can grab your dumbbell that we were just using, and you're going to hold it on the ends and hold it just out in front of you. So sitting down on the floor, legs nice and long, small bend in them, feet nice and close together. Lean back as far as you can, all right, without tipping over, and then twist the shoulders side to side. Let's get this set done. So the twist should be through the torso, okay? We don't need to roll the whole body in the hips and the legs. We're just trying to twist the shoulders side to side. If you're counting, keep it up. If not, we'll kind of stop you at a good point. But you should get a burn in those abs starting fairly early on, okay? Lana gave me a look then, like it's working a little bit. So hopefully it's working for you. We want 20 to 30 total. All right, a little bit of a burn. If you're not counting, you can rest there. If you were counting, do your numbers. And then stand up and track with Lana.
When you count those as well, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, not 1, 1, 2, 2.
Yep.
I've had people count like that before in a session, going 1, 1, 2, and they're doing so many reps, and I'm going, what is going on here?
This is going on for
And they were like, I did this many, and I'm like, no, you don't count like that. That means you can go up in weight, because if you were getting that many reps out, you're going up.
Busted.
All right, guys, let's track that. So grab out whatever you were tracking on, pop in what weight we just did then, how many reps you got out, what did you have in the tank? I know it's hard to figure out, but have a little guesstimation. If you felt like you could do over 5 more, you can go up in weight, yeah? Same deal for your Russian twist, so just scroll on down in that superset, pop in how many reps you got out. Again, it's tricky with those reps in reserve. But we want it to be at that point today where it's not too easy, it's not too hard, it's not too heavy, not too light, it's just right.
Is it Goldilocks in the 3 days? Is that?
Yeah, not too hot, not too cold, not, I don't know, something like that. But the Just Right ad, the cereal, used to be, it's not too heavy, it's not too light, it's just right.
Aussies will know that.
Aussies will know that. A cereal, yeah, the Just Right. All right, so we are going to go for one more set here, guys. We'll get into it in about 30 seconds. So you know the deal. If you want to go up in weight there, you can. If you felt like it was too easy. If you want to stay on that weight and just work on that form, let's do that again.
One thing I'm going to add before we get into it, if you get shoulder pain or just feel your shoulders in this like I do, you can add a little rotation with the hands. So have a quick look at your phone or whatever. But what you can do is as you come out here, you can go from your V shape, and then as we come out, you can turn the little fingers out slightly, the thumbs in towards each other, and get that big stretch across the chest there. So the hands are kind of a little bit more level instead of palms facing each other. And just do that, but rotate back into face each other at the top. And that's just an option to take a little bit of stress off of the shoulder. Okay, let's dive into our second and last set for today here. So ideally 5 or less in the tank we should find with this. If you're just learning the form, then that's totally fine. We can find our reps in reserve next week, okay? So now you're set up. Lie down, feet back, arch, shoulders back and down, hands straight up, palms facing each other. Out into our V shape, big breath in. Keep going out into our W shape, and then breathe out, press up, and we're coming round on the way up. It's really important that our hands are wider than our elbows the whole time as we come down, because we want it to be stressing that chest instead of working the triceps a lot like in our press. If you added that rotation in, hopefully your shoulder's feeling better. If you don't like it, go back to what you were doing. 8 to 10 reps. Stretch to the bottom of every one. Shoulder base should be together behind us the whole time. Breathe in, expand the pecs. Exhale, contract, but keep the chest out. Nice. V's and W's. That's all you got to think about.
V-dubs.
V-dubs, boy. And then down to our last set of the Russian twist. Okay, so we've actually got 3 of these out, which is great. Lean back, legs nice and close, twisting through the torso. Look, if you are moving your hands away from you and moving around to tap the floor, we know that's bludging, all right? It's all about the torso twist, okay? Don't chuck the weight around to make you feel like you're doing more. It's a controlled movement with the turn of the shoulders and the hips staying nice and square. Rotate side to side, trying to get 30 total if you can. If it burns too much before then, you can rest. And if you're not counting, just do 2 more on each side. And then that will be those puppies done, ticked off.
Nice.
And we can come back to those next week. We just got one spicy big set to finish. We're out of here.
Look out. All right, guys, let's track that final effort there. What do we do? How many reps we get out? What do we got in the tank? So pop that in there, have a think about it. Once we have done that, we're gonna plan what we wanna do next week. We will do 3 working sets next week. Maybe a warm-up if you want. If you want to do a little practice run, you can pause this when we get to it. But if not, that is fine. We'll just go straight into those 3 sets. All right, guys, so let's plan. Click on dumbbell chest fly. Add your own note. Pop in what working effort you are going to use. So if you found that weight you used today fine, you can go up. If you found it too hard, you can stay on it. You can drop back down, yeah? Same deal with the Russian twist. You might even want to get a heavier dumbbell next week, yeah? Now that you got the feel of it, click on the exercise name, pop in what weight you might want to use, and that is that. Once we've exited out of these guys, you can pack away those dumbbells, pack away your bench if you're using a bench, and we're moving on to our final little effort.
Our push-ups. You just need a space on the floor, or if you cannot do a push-up on the floor, then you can go to the bar, okay? So if you're not just doing a full on the floor, you're gonna go to your rig, you're gonna set your J hooks up at a comfortable height. I would say anywhere around belly button to nipple height is gonna be manageable. Lower than belly button height is gonna start to get hard, okay? And then down until we get towards the floor. So set up at a height that you think, or down to the floor. Take your time to do that. Pause us if you need. And one thing I was going to say before we moved on was with the Russian twist, if you like to grab something other than a dumbbell, like a plate or a med ball, a baby, you know, or
whatever,
probably your baby, not just a random baby, then you can do that as well, okay? Something that's going to work. Baby will be hard wriggling around. But yeah, let's get into these push-ups, crew. Should we just roll straight into it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. So J-hook set up for us. Pause us if you need to do that, and we're going to come down. We're going to do ours on the floor. How many do you reckon you're going to get, Lance?
10, maybe 11.
I did a couple the other day and they felt really hard. I had like 2 weeks of not doing too much because of the snow and stuff.
I haven't done a push-up in a long time.
Yeah. All right, so for your push-ups, guys, you're going to be down in a full plank position. Same if you're just on the bar, the cues are exactly the same. Okay, so Lana's going to do hers with you now. You're going to have your feet together. All right, you're going to have your hands outside shoulder width, normally like your bench or chest press position. And then from here, we want a nice straight body. You're going to push your nose out to make a triangle with your hands. Your elbows are going to come in at 45 degrees-ish. Your chest touches the floor or the bar every single time. And let's get these reps done, okay? So you guys are going to go for as many as you can at the whole height or position that you are in. Let's get after it, okay? So you're pushing yourself to your failing point. We don't have any numbers for you here. You're going to work really, really hard. Good, you're going to try and max out, get as many reps as possible. Yep. Lana's failed hers. How many did you get?
I failed on the 12th.
On the 12th,
so
nice. So more than you thought. If you're still going, good effort. Keep on pumping them out. All about the form though. No shit reps. At the bottom, don't let the shoulders pop up and over. Stick the chest out. Okay, full range of motion, chest touches. No half reps.
Yeah, you've heard my mic and necklace hitting the floor then, I reckon.
Oh yeah, we should move it for this one.
Yeah.
At least you would know she was hitting the floor, getting the range.
Well, that's it.
Good marker.
Full range of motion.
Train together, now selling mic rep counters. Okay, so guys, you fill in when you're done with those, how many you got. Lance will run you through it.
That's it. You fill it in. Reps in reserve should be 0. Weight, you're not using a weight yet. If you're feeling really good about yourself down the track, you can throw a plate on your back. But 0 kilos for that weight. Press, Dunskies there. Next week, you can write in what your goal is going to be. So click on that exercise name, write how many reps you got out. You want to beat that next week, okay? Jack is cranking his reps out. From there, swipe across. Congratulations, you have finished your workout. I lifted a horse. 773 kilos during this workout. What?
You just broke me.
That's amazing. How's that for motivation?
Love it. Oh,
How many you get?
I don't know, you broke me. Probably like mid-20s or something. It was pretty hard, but I should have given you guys a few more. Alrighty.
Thanks, guys.
Pleasure.
Train together.
We'll see you next Monday for another episode. Again, if you guys want to see those in-depth video tutorials, track properly, maybe get some cues and join our crew, then just join the app. Okay, you know where we're
Easy
at, train
peasy.
together. You.
Let's go.